Grab your popcorn and dim the lights. We're taking a nostalgic trip back to the golden and sometimes gritty age of cinema in the Hamilton area. From the flickering glow of the drive-in to the birth of the twin cinema, here is the wild ride of Hamilton's movie scene from 1960 to 1979. The early 60s, new life and fond farewells. 1960. Kick things off on May 20th as the old scenic drive-in in Stony Creek gets a fresh lease on life. Didzac Drive-Ins reopens it as the iconic Starlight Drive-In. 1961. Changes in the air in Burlington as the Roxy transitions into the Odeon. Sadly, it's the final curtain call for two others. The Downtown, Famous Players, and the Roxy in Dundas both close their doors. 1963. A touch of La Dolce Vita arrives. The Empire Theater reopens as Cinema Italia, specializing in Italian films. Meanwhile, we say goodbye to the Kenilworth and the Kenmore. 1965. The Fox Theater in Stony Creek officially screens its last film and closes down. 1966 to 1969. The Rise of the Twins. 1966. On April 6th, the Avalon is rebranded by 20th Century Theaters as the Avon.
Look out! Here comes the biggest Bond of all. Thunderball.
Over on the other side of town, the State Theater closes, but not for long. 1967. March 16th sees the former State Theater roar back to life as the Town Cinema under Didzac Drive-Ins. Later that spring, on May 19th, the Century Theater debuts a fresh new look after major renovations. 1968. A massive year for movies. The International Cinema opens on May 7th. Famous Players reopens The Strand on June 28th. October 31st marks a milestone. The Burlington Mall Cinema 1 and 2 opens as the area's very first twin cinema. Meanwhile, the Town Cinema shifts gears and begins showing adult films. 1969. On January 8th, Joe Didzac takes the reins of the International Cinema. Just a week later, January 15th, the Center Twin Cinemas opens its doors, boasting a massive 70mm screen for that high-definition vintage feel. The transitional 70s, malls and mature themes. 1970. The Mountain Theater gets a new identity, becoming the York on November 7th. 1971. A major shakeup. On September 2nd, the legendary Capitol and Palace are sold to Granada Theaters. That same day, Odeon Theaters 1 and 2 open to replace them. In other news, the International Cinema is renamed the Pussycat, pivoting to adult films on November 7th. Famous Players officially closes the Strand. 1972. The era of the Mega Mall Cinema arrives. On August 23rd, Famous Players Jackson Square Cinemas 1 and 2 opens. October 5th, the Tivoli joins the Eve Pool and starts showing adult features. Winter, the Clabison Drive-In in Waterdown starts showing adult films during the cold months. Closures. We lost the Palace, March 18th, the Capitol, August 31st, and the Delta. 1973. The Skyway Plaza Cinemas 1 and 2 opens on January 26th in Burlington. Canadian Theaters takes over the Center Mall Twin, while the Odeon Highland starts its own 2-year run of adult cinema. 1974. On May 24th, the Delta Theater at 1292 King East makes its grand return to the scene. 1975 to 1979. The Final Shift. 1975. Progress marches on. Famous Players closes the Skyway Drive-In to make room for the new Fiesta Mall development. 1976. A huge acquisition year. Canadian Theatres takes over the Didzac Empire, including the Hamilton Drive-In, the Town, the Starlight Drive-In, Stony Creek, and the Clapison Drive-In, Waterdown. 1977. The landscape changes again, as Canadian Odeon merges with Odeon to create Canadian Odeon Theatres. Plus, on March 4th, the Pussycat Theatre gets a classier name, the Broadway.
A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away,
Here they come!
Star Wars,
Coming in too fast!
an adventure unlike anything on your planet. It's an epic of heroes and villains and aliens from 1,000 worlds. Star Wars, rated PG.
1978. The Tivoli returns to its roots as a first-run movie house on March 17th. However, the adult trend hits the Playhouse June 30th and the Delta. 1979. We end the decade with more growth. On December 21st, the Burlington Mall Cinema splits its large theater to add a third screen, prepping for the blockbuster 80s ahead. Thanks for watching this trip down memory lane. If you loved this history of Hamilton's silver screen, don't forget to like and subscribe for more.